So you want me to analyze the Holocaust? This is going to sound strange, but it's actually quite simple. I woke up with a bad case of the cramps and runs this morning. Deleted all yesterday's feeds, and we were there. 7 survivors of the Holocaust. Okay. When I was in college, during my Jewish studies class, the Jewish Reformed movement, had alleged trial of, that they did, and there was a play about it too, and then they had a trial and held God guilty, which is quite interesting, because since God's will is free will, how can God be guilty of giving you free will and telling you everything to do and making you be obedient to everything God commands, and you have to follow them, or God will strike you down and kill you? God giving you free will lets you kill each other freely, either for living a lie or speaking the truth. So the guilt of the Holocaust falls on human beings that don't understand the intelligence of loving free will that is applied with the respect and regard to human dignity, respect, and honor. So the ones guilty for the Holocaust is simple. It's humanity, not God. It's just that simple, basic math. I mean, it doesn't take real long to argue that one. All right. So there's your case. Now we can go through some of the nuances of the case so you can better comprehend and understand them. And you can't blame Solomon, David, or Jesus, or Moses, or Muhammad. Okay. And here's why. You have to bring your Sadducees, your Pharisees, your Ecksteins, and your other people that speak the lies that they do. Okay. All things being relative. Okay. We've made ourselves trifler in answer, but we're all related. Okay. So, in claiming that you are God's chosen people and loved better than the rest, you secularize yourself, you set up yourself as an elitist, and thus set the precedent for other people to set themselves up as elitist, and then follow Third Reich type agendas with the protocols of Zion, driving a Aryan race promoted elimination system to be the top. Hitler thought he was the top Jew that had evolved, like Dawkins and them are thinking, that they were more Homo sapien, and then they had these other people that were more Neanderthal and Divintions or whatever stuff, that they were the supreme race, and they were more lent to herd these sheep or cattle that were the other races that weren't quite as efficient and as intelligent as the Homo sapien, because the Homo sapien was more cunning, because the Homo sapien was a better liar. There's no such thing as a good liar. Okay? Because if you believe in omnipotence and omnipresence and really believe in religion, if we're having God present at this trial and trying to hold God guilty, God's omnipotent and omnipresent, so there's no lost or lie with God. God knows what you did. God knows where you are. Okay? You can't be lost in an omnipotent, omnipresent state, and you cannot lie in an omnipotent and omnipresent state, which is why I don't value money, which is why I value the life that God gave us, because that only makes sense. Okay? It's real difficult having a brain that operates in such an intelligent fashion and then tries to explain things to people that don't have a highly evolved, intelligent brain. Now, it's obvious that a lot of the, quote, Homo sapiens who believe themselves elect and better than everybody else have some of the worst operating brains, rather than some of the people that have more relations, as we saw in that one video, to the divisions or whatever they call them, or Neanderthals, because Neanderthals, they said, are largely related to Native Americans. The divisions usually largely related to Aboriginals. So do you understand? So it shows that the Homo sapiens, in many ways, might be, because of the evilness of their evolution and their cunningness to be so good at lying and being deceptive, might be the most evilly evolved and the most most inefficient and evil fashion. But then that theory kind of debukes itself, given the fact that largely because of the shape of my skull and the way I operate with things, people like myself, Jesus of Nazareth, Muhammad, stuff like that, are largely mixed but largely evolved in more of a Homo sapien fashion. So, but it's a good idea to mix because of relative connective, collective, and drawing from the strengths and weaknesses from the other, quote, different species, but they're not entirely different species. The other evolutionary state of someone that's more like a Homo sapien or Homo erectus. They're just being elitist is what's happening with the ones that believe they're the most Homo sapien-ish. Understood? Oh, we're obviously more intelligent than Aborigines. Obviously. It's like that man, it's like John, the one guy on Peter Pan. Remember, the Indian is cunning, but he is not intelligent, but he's very cunning. And you see, that's what's going on. And large amounts of intelligence, environmental balance and controls, observation, and it's just because they haven't erected a lot of buildings and torn up a lot of stuff and have all this mass stuff that destroys the environment and helps race to our death. So, you know, for our mass conveniences of our celebration of all our technological advances, does not make them unintelligent. Do you understand? It's more intelligent to try to survive on your planet in an intelligent manner without destroying it. Now, having the ability to manipulate things to stop it from being destroyed from outside influence is also intelligent too, but you have to understand and regard and respect one another and maintain a balance. So that's what goes on, and that's why I interbreed, and love and am physically attracted to Native American women and, you know, and Aboriginal shorts and other what we used to call races or whatever, stuff like that. I'm intelligent enough to be attracted to different than me, because I realize the differences are what makes us better, and our similarities are not so different. See, I'm a very intelligent man, so I'm highly attracted to people that have a different considered racial, you know-ness to me. And it's because I have this, you know. And then when they behave in an irrational manner, it sometimes amps the attractiveness, because I want to, yeah. That's weird. That's why I was having the weird sexual impulses about Suzanne Martinez and Hillary Clinton last night. Okay. Well, people were suggesting, you know, it's like, well, the men that they're having sex with are obviously behaving irrationally. One over money, one over secular violence. So have sex with them for a month or two. They'll totally change. Let's do that. Let's have a social experiment. Let's just not say we did. Maybe they can just figure it out without any kind of old-fashioned sexual DNA interfacing that requires me, you know, it's almost like a form of mind control. But I know it's a form of DNA influence that gives them nicer DNA, and then the nicer DNA, and also more intelligent and courageous also. Courageous DNA. It's nicer, but it's more courageous. Yeah. I'm nicer, but I'm also more courageous. I don't want to murder people that are different than me because I'm afraid. And I'm nice enough not to do it. And so there's a combination of it. It's such I'm evolved analytical. I have very efficient DNA. I'm a lot like David, Jesus, John, and Moses, Salvin, and others. So I'm not elite. It's just that I lack the eliteness, and I'm very intelligent, and I'm very loving and cohesive and coherent, and understand the inclusionariness of ourselves. I understand relative molecular understanding in sciences very well, and I'm mathematically highly efficient. So that's why I behave in the way I do, and that's why a lot of women now, given the fact that they understand it and all and want to have the simpler type of children, when they see me, like, want to start reproducing with me because I'm the alpha dog. Get it? Okay. Oh, I gotta make babies with him. I just gotta make babies with him. If I don't gotta make babies with him, I gotta start having sex with him and have him around my children, so my children can pick up from his dinner with Gershwin-ish. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. You see, women start to see it that way now, and now that they all start thinking as a mass group that way, all of a sudden I'm the most attractive dog on the whole planet, even though I'm not really that physically appealing, as opposed to Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, George Clooney, and Casper Smart. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, okay. I'm just not as hot as the rest of those guys. Now, I could be in the ballpark. You know, I look pretty good for 47. You can ask George Clooney. But I look pretty good, you know, physically in the face and everything and stuff like that. And if I really put the effort into it, in about 6 to 8 months, I can really have a good body and compete body-wise with them. I just emotionally, I can't handle it right now because people are being so irrational, cruel, thoughtless, and unkind. So I'm going through my own personal little kind of holocaust, because people that say they love Jesus, who in spirit is extraordinarily similar to me, hate me because they've made up a mythical Jesus in their mind where there can be secular, tribal, or insular, extraordinarily cruel, vicious, mean, and elitist. And then when the messenger comes and tells them that their mathematics are extraordinarily poor, they can kill the messenger because they've invented a false messenger in their mind and a false world and a false reality that they can escape to. It's a psychotic break. You guys understand now? Okay, I hope you understand the Holocaust a lot better now. It's a very difficult time in our history, and a lot of us don't like to talk about it. Some of us are in complete denial about it and say that it's just a myth that was made up. But that's just, oh, come on, man. Just don't even try to go there, okay? It's a very sore spot in German history, but the thing about it is it was manipulated and created by money markets that made the German people as a tribe, because they were being abused, get up and react violently is what happened, okay? So that's why that's how you created the Menachem-Begins, and because he was part of that, you know, was the European stuff like that, and the Merkels and the stuff like that, the people that become Zionist and irrationalist and elitist and segregationalist and tribalist and God's chosen people. That's how you get the Rabbi Ecksteins and stuff like that. It's because they react violently to imbalances in their environment through their tribalization, because of people acting very non-humble and very elite and very arrogant. I love my brother-in-law, but he's excellent at it. And he's a similitude of Joab, and Joab was excellent at it too. And he's been this way for a long time, and that's why Patrick gets very angry with him. And he loses patience with him, and he gets extraordinarily angry at Lawrence Vegas. But Lawrence Vegas was reacting to his environment, and you're looking at a man who was raised by a man who was put through a Japanese Bataan Death March prison camp, and he'll sit there and tell you stories about his dad, that he's very upset about the treatment that his dad gave him growing up. And he tells you how wonderful his country is, but it was his country that set up the conditions for his dad to be set up in a hostile environment because of empire building that made his growing up a lot worse than it had to be. But he doesn't blame it on his fellow human beings. He blames it on God, and then turns around and makes God into something that he can control, manipulate, and tell what to do. So it's really hard, man. It's a psychotic break, and I'm trying to help him because I adore the man, and I've always loved him, and I get along a lot better with his sons than I do with him and his wife, who's my sister, and unfortunately his niece, who's his daughter, who's my niece, because me and Melissa, when she used to hang out at Patrice's house, I always enjoyed her and got along with her quite well. Not wondering why she's spent all her spare time enjoying all the things that Patrice does, because drinking wine coolers and listening to music all day and talking shit about people isn't as much fun as just being yourself and just having some freedom to express yourself more intelligently than doing all the things that your parents won't let you do, because it's usually not a very good idea. Okay? Yeah, I observe and analyze real well. People hate to hear the truth from me, and then they get mad at me and think I'm a complete jerk. Sound familiar? Yeah, it happens to Jesus, happens to David, happens to Solomon, happens to John. It happens to us all the time. Stop telling me the truth about myself. I want to hear lies. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. I just can't do that. Why? Well, you're not going to be able to fix the truth if I tell you lies about the truth to make you feel good. All you're going to get out of me is a manipulation, a bunch of people that you can hang out with that you can't trust because they'll sell you out the moment the shit hits the fan. And I'll get laid because all the women will want me because I'm an excellent liar, until truth becomes what is more efficient to save the world from itself. And then I got 500 brides, man. And everybody's, hey, be our king, because, Jehovah seems to work through you best. And have sex with our daughters. Do you want to have sex with me? Well, yes, you saved us all from cock and a bitch and the guys from coming in and eunuch and mass murdering people, and you don't take reprisals and get angry and violent, and you're very protecting and loving. But then when the caca hits the fan, you go straight out into the field of battle and take Goliath's own sword and cut his head off with it. Ralph, you are sexy as all get out. Can we have sex with you now? Yes, please. Thank you. What a reward. It doesn't work out well. No. Well, because you can't possibly satisfy 500 women with one man. It's impossible. As much as I would love to try, I wouldn't. No. It's like on the glorious copulation with the 45 women on Little Big Man. You know, just thinking about it now just shrinks me up inside. I couldn't handle that. I mean, wow, you know, I would have really loved to try it like on Don Juan DeMarco, you know, when he gets caught in the harem. Wow, cool. And then afterwards it's like, it's really not as cool as you think it is. You can't possibly satisfy that many women just being one man. I mean, but it will sure satisfy you. You'll be sitting around like Troy McClure. I had snoo-snoo. Death by snoo-snoo. What a way to go. Yeah, it's just not cool. So he ends up at the end of the movie with the woman he had the strongest connection with on an island with all the rest of the people that wanted to be on that island with the people they had the strongest connection with too, in a paradise that is more closely made for two than trying to make everybody happy. It's like Bill Cosby said, secret to happiness. I don't know what the secret to happiness is, but I sure do know what the secret to failure is trying to please everybody. Because you can't please everybody, because God gave us free will. So you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. So it's all right now. Learn my lesson well. So see what you can do about pleasing yourself. And do it without hurting others, because God gave you free will. And there is your mathematical equation of how to hopefully try to avoid further Holocaust, which we have been doing. I mean, have we had more Holocaust? Yeah. Somalia, Rwanda, Ethiopia. One's happening in Syria right now. You know, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, we have tons of Holocaust all the time. We declare war on God's people and go for it. I mean, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's pretty Holocausty too. Not as devastating as the Jews. Yeah, with trying to follow the protocols of Zion to be the top Jews to run the world. I get it, but just bring your rabbis on that one. You know, bring the little rabbi guys talking about the elite super Jew godmen that are supposed to run the world and stuff like that. That put out that Tim Roth movie about my grandmother's cousin Herschel Steinschneider. Bring those guys, okay? Bring your spin doctors. Blame your Ecksteins and all that tell everybody that we're the elite God's people and want to repatriate God's promised land to us. That was this dirt that I signed a piece of paper on 10,000 years ago and said, God promised me this land no matter what, so I can mass murder anybody I want to come back. And that's what Hitler was saying, that the Jew will do this to try to... Nah, it's not the Jew, it's someone like Hitler. Hitler did the same damn thing he accused the Jews of being evil of. It's just a choice. It's free will. To be evil or not to be evil. It's fake Shakespeare. To be or not to be. Knock it off. God promised us land. Yes, we were all promised a place to live here, to lie here, and not be put in extortion for it. And we are all promised some food and to be kept and to be honored and regarded. And we all have to work at it. We all have to get up and do our part. You just can't sit there on your butt, let everybody else do the work while you take in all the benefits. Well, that's what we're supposed to do. That's how royal families behave. I know, because they're royally stupid, and I'm here to royally kick their ass. It's what I do. I'm the king of Israel. Get up and do your part. Well, you don't work as hard as the rest of us. This job is nonstop. You want my job? You want to be the world's top evolved analytical, observational analysis, telekinetic, that just people come and ask you for stuff all the time? Dear King, help us solve our problem. Dear King, why do you think Jethro came up? Because Jethro was the high priest of Midian that had similar issues, but Moses was far more connected because there was tribal connections. And he comes up, take Aaron and take Joshua and take all these guys, give them positions of authority and power and leadership too. They have similar abilities, maybe not as they can all recognize. Maybe you've got it going on a little bit better than they do. But spread some of this authority out, okay? So you can be a man again that can live among the people without being inundated and dying early. So my daughter is left a widow, my daughter's not left a widow, and you can enjoy your wife again and not be such a pain in the ass that Zipporah can help you feel almost as good as she did at the foot of Mount Zion, making love to you every day. Now get it together. Make these guys get up and pull their weight. Come on. You're the guy right. I did it with you, and I did it with people around Media. You just got bigger number here, but you get your shit together and start moving around. Spread some of this responsibility on your people, God's people. Get to work. I love Jethro. That's why I love a lot of the people I meet from the line of Jethro. That's why I have a lot of very good friends and a lot of very good people, a lot of good advice, and a lot of very good fellowship and help of people that are a lot darker than me. It's not a white-black thing. It's a high priest of Midian thing and his family and the people of Egypt and other things and stuff like that. They've adored the little Hebrew king guy, and I've adored them because they're my family, and I've loved their daughters for millennia upon millennia. And that's why I've always had a thing for women that were darker, because they love me and I love them. And so it's cool. And then every time I get these other women, they sit there and they think, white guy, elite, smart, all that. Don't look at me that way. Just look at me as a man that you love, and I look at you as a woman as a love. And I don't see color. I just see love. Like that one song, man, on that Father's Day song that Phil played. And that one father, I think I'll color him father, color this man father. I think I'll color him love. And because he was coloring a picture, and it was his stepdad, because he talked about his real dad went off in the army and was killed, and mom left mom alone with, I think it was like 7 kids, and then I saw this man's smiling face, and he decided to take us in and take care of us. I think I'll color this man father. I think I'll color this man love. He talked about how loving this man was and caring, and it taught us to be, to take care of people. It was his stepfather, like my brother-in-laws, like Lawrence Lewis Bowen, like Lawrence Benegas, So that's why he's loved by family, and his family will love and do things for him because he saw them as God's children and not his children or somebody else's children. They took it that's why Corey and Melissa got raised with a lot of love. Do you understand? I'm going to stop our Holocaust today, huh? I'm going to restore the family today. If you listen, you can come join me, the Messiah. If you don't listen, you can perpetuate and continue your own Holocaust daily. All right? Thanks for the help. That was really wonderful. Wow, people want answers. Well, I can't give you all the answers, but I can offer some solutions for my evolved analysis. Okay? Thanks, guys. It's a gift, and it works through me, like David and Solomon explained. So I hope it helps. That was cool. That worked out all right. All right, I love you too. Blessings and peace.